Well, it's Wild Turkey week here at Whiskey Happens.
Today we have quite the interesting episode. We, I don't even know if "we" is the right word, but if you're watching our previous review, if you listen to the podcast, you're now seeing this. It will all make sense. We're doing a comparison today of Wild Turkey 10
Yes.
year with Wild Turkey single brick house, something we were able to acquire. Don't
We
worry
didn't even
about the
acquire the
ins and
bottle.
outs of how we got this.
Yeah, we didn't even acquire a bottle. We got tastings, which is nice from one of our boys, which if you were watching or listening this week, you would know exactly who that is, Mr. Spooky Bourbon, who we don't talk enough about. Oh, wait, we do, because he's amazing and he helps us out with a lot of stuff because he just knows how to build those relationships. But that's not what we're talking about, because if you go listen to our podcast, you can hear all about it. Garrett, I'm excited about this. What about you?
I am. I think I've had enough to wake up my palate to get ready for this. Also, there's a small smidgen of me that thinks that maybe I'm going to be disappointed, but we'll see when we cross that bridge. I still excited nonetheless to get this over with. It's
Yeah.
we've been waiting since Christmas almost for this day to come. There were 75 barrels for this. They're calling it an annual release. It'll be interesting to see if they do that because this particular bottle comes
Mm-hmm.
from Warehouse C or Camp Nelson, I believe they call it. I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
bottle to read it.
No, you're right.
Floors
Camp
3 and 4,
Nelson.
112 proof. However, from what I remember, I understood Warehouse C is being decommissioned because of structural integrity.
Yep.
So, how they're going to make it an annual release, I'm not really sure unless you're just taking it Warehouse A, B, D, E, F, G.
Well, and the whole reason I wanted to do this with you, and I think this is really interesting, is it's aged 10 years at least.
Hmm.
So it's a pretty fair comparison in the sense that we're comparing it against Russell's 10. This is also at least aged 10 years. Um, but as you'll see throughout our experience here, already we can tell a difference just in the color. So I'm really interested to see the nose, the taste, and everything. So let's start with the 10 year, and then we'll get into the single rick house.
All right. So, I've said this many in episodes, but classic vanilla,
Yep.
corn, and
Easy.
baking spices.
Yep. And what I love about it, it's easy on the nose. It's not, you can stick your nose in there. You're not going to get a full ethanol burn. It's really simple. And let's get into it.
All right. Classic.
Yep.
It's classic. So, um, this is where it becomes a bargain. I know we've talked about this recently. Like current bottle I paid for $45. It was convenience. I was on my way home from Delaware. I stopped at a liquor store in Maryland or DC. I can get it for $40 regular.
Yeah.
$5 for convenience I wasn't really worried about. But a $40 10 year, and we talked about this in the Eagle Rare review as well. It's a bargain.
These are phenomenal. And if you haven't had any wild turkey products, definitely do yourself a favor and go out and get some. But Garrett, like you said, it's, peanutty goodness. It's got a lot of vanilla and just overall smooth to the palate. But that's what I want to know. This is $200 less than what we're getting ready to taste and nose. And I can't see the other one blowing me away to the point where I'm going to spend the extra $200. But
Well, let's find out.
let's let's find out.
Immediately, there's a huge cinnamon note I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm getting something smoky. It's definitely more oaky and
Which is
it's
interesting.
calmer. It's calmer. It's not as I don't know how to describe it. It's not as up and down. Like it's very subdued as you're nosing this.
A little light
Wow.
vanilla on the
Mhm.
back end. It's less corn forward than
Yeah.
the Russell's 10. But let's get into that long awaited taste.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. Okay. I mean, this is toasted pecan. I mean, I don't even know how to describe this any better. It's like a toffee, toasted pecan, chocolatey, like it is so rich. It is so rich. Like it is much more decadent, in my opinion, than the
mhm,
10-year. I mean, whew.
it definitely is rich. Like the chocolate is calling out to me, as well as the cinnamon really pulls through, and just a light stone fruit finish on the back end. But the thing I noticed for me in particular, it really hit me in the back of the throat.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably the proof. I'm not sure if we said this before, but it's 112
Yeah.
as opposed to 90. So it's up there. Um,
Oh
but
man.
I'm not sure if it's a fair comparison at this point.
It's not a fair comparison because of the price point, but
I
mm.
would say the flavor. Like this is definitely a
Oh yeah.
punch.
Oh yeah, this is like in my opinion kind of like when you compare double oak to regular Woodford. That's the comparison difference to me. Like this double oak Woodford double oak has so much flavor and it's so just rich. Um this is just I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It's really good. I don't know if it's 250 good, but it's good.
Is it worth it? Is the question I guess we're asking. Do I want to pay $250 for it? It's good, but is it $250 good?
I think about things that I've paid over 200 for. There's only a handful of things I've paid over 200 for. And who's to say, and see, this is the biasness, and even I'm doing it. I go to myself, I'm like, oh, but it's a product they're going to do every year. It's from Wild Turkey. Why would I spend 250 bucks? And it's like, I got to get out of my own head with that because I've spent $250 or 200 plus on a bottle before. Um, and I can't put it's, but once again, I don't know if I'd spend 250 on this. I think it's that 150 to 175 for me. If it was in that range, I would definitely would have purchased this.
See, I
Um,
feel like this is where this drops into the category of the Russell's version of Wild Turkey,
yeah.
or I'm sorry, of Master's Keep
Hmm.
annual release, something special.
Yes.
Um, I don't own any Master Keeps right now. I would say maybe for I can't think of a reason why I would buy a Master's Keep. However, they are good. They are good. Yeah, I'm not gonna
I
sit there and
mean,
not.
let me put it this way. If if you're comparing those two, like if that's the comparison, if they were the same price, I'd buy this more than the Master's Keep. But the problem is Master's Keep, once again, is not $200. It's depending on where you buy it and depending on the markup, it's anywhere from 150 to 175, maybe 180.
What's the
But this
MSRP
is
on Master's
still,
Keep?
I don't know. You have to put it below. I don't know right off the top of my head. Um,
If
because I really
I were
like
going to
this.
break down and spend the money, I think yes, I would buy the single rick house over a Master's Keep. The I guess nuance in that is that every year is different,
Yeah,
as well as whatever next warehouse they pick could be completely different from the warehouse they
could
have,
be. It could be.
and shift right.
Yeah.
But
But
we'll see how it goes.
but let me ask you this before we head out. Would you buy this knowing that the rick house it came from is getting ready to be torn down? So you're not going to get anything else from that rick house. See, that to me is another like little wrench in it, thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. Even if they do this every year, this is the only time it'll come from this rick house.
Well, I assume they, even when they decommission Warehouse C, there's still floors 1 and 2. We know there's a 3 and 4, so there has to be a 1 and 2.
I guess.
Uh,
I don't know. Just a thought.
yeah, no, it's
Throwing a little
speculation.
nugget out there.
But I do think that, yes, this one could be special and it's the inaugural one and they chose it accordingly.
Yeah.
It could be different next year and we could have a different opinion. Would I buy one next year or this year for conversation's sake? Right amount of alcohol, I'd say yes.
Yeah. I'm in that ballpark right now that because I've had this now, I actually might spend the money and get a bottle. Would you say 10 is better? No price involved. If you could buy both bottles or drink both ones, which one are you drinking?
If they're readily available, single rig house.
Okay. That's huge. I'm the same. So
And to find out how we favored this over Russell 13, check out our podcast episode that released this week, featuring Spooky Bourbon.
yeah. And if you haven't, go check out our website. We updated a bunch of stuff, a lot of cool new things happening there, merch store, everything. And then if you've made it this far in the video, let us know below if you'd buy it. If you've had it, 1, 2, do you think the price is right? I want to know.
All right. Until then, doesn't matter if you like it neat, on the rocks, or in a Coke. Whiskey happens.
Cheers.
Cheers.